Hello everyone. Today let us understand domain services, the powerhouse behind the Devum's low-code magic. Now what is domain service? Domain service, or the brain of your app, is a feature of the low-code platform Devum that allows users to easily create critical business rules and complex logic directly on the user interface, eliminating the need for back-end development expertise. This is a major upgrade from the earlier version, which required back-end developers to write and deploy code for even minor adjustments. By enabling citizen developers to design and manage services visually, domain services reduces development and deployment time. It also reduces reliance on specialized developers, as anyone can now build and deploy services independently. So let's think in this way. We create the UI in our App Studio with drag and drop capabilities. You create the tables data using Data Modeler. Now the domain service is where you tell the app what to do when a specific event happens. So as a citizen developer, you use visual tools and simple configurations inside the domain service to create these powerful rules without writing any kind of complex code. Now, let's move on to the key benefits of Devum Domain Services. First, accelerated development. Instead of rebuilding the same logic for every app, teams can simply reuse predefined services. This speeds up development dramatically and helps deliver features much faster. Next, consistency and reliability. Because logic lives in one central place, every application behaves the same way. That means fewer bugs, less confusion, and a smoother, more predictable user experience. Third, scalability. Each domain service can grow on its own. So as your organization expands or demand increases, you can scale specific services without touching the entire system. Fourth, maintainability. When something needs an update or a fix, teams can work on that one service without breaking anything else. This makes maintenance cleaner, safer, and far more efficient. And finally, empowering low-code users. With ready-to-use, thoroughly tested services at their fingertips, even non-developers can assemble powerful applications quickly. This accelerates innovation across the whole business. Together, these benefits make Devum Domain Services a strong foundation for building smarter, faster, and more scalable applications. Coming to the types of domain services, Devum offers a comprehensive set of service types to handle diverse application needs, from simple calculations to complex workflows and real-time processing. The various types of domain services are business logic, API for external integration, scheduled business logic, entity pre-post service, real-time data processing, form field, user action process, and fluent service task. Now let's understand each of these services in detail. Business logic. As we move into this section, let's talk about one of the most critical layers of any application. So, business logic is essentially the intelligence layer of your application. It defines how data should be processed and ensures every action follows the organization's rules consistently. Take a simple leave management example. Behind the scenes, business logic is constantly calculating how many leaves an employee has been granted, what's available, what's pending, and what's already taken. And all of those numbers shapes how the system responds next. It even steps in during a leave request, stopping employees from applying for more days than they have, showing them a clear snapshot of their balance, and giving admins a quick, insightful dashboard to review anyone's leave status. In short, business logic is what transforms your application from just functional to smart. API services. API services act as the communication layer of the Devum platform. They create secure internal endpoints that let different parts of your application talk to each other, whether that's fetching user profiles, updating inventory in real time, or submitting form data to the back end. Just like a weather app calls an API to get temperature data, Devum uses APIs to pass information smoothly through the system. And here, business logic becomes the bridge between the UI and these APIs, making sure every action is executed correctly. For example, when an admin approves or rejects a leave with a single click, the API instantly updates the status. And when viewing an employee's details, APIs fetch all their leave records neatly categorized. Together, this gives users fast, reliable interactions across the entire application. APIs for external integration. APIs for external integration allow Devum applications to securely connect and exchange data with outside systems. This is how we integrate with services like payment gateways, such as Stripe, sync with tools like Salesforce, pull information from weather APIs, or even connect to older enterprise systems. In a real-world scenario, imagine integrating with a biometric attendance system. Once a leave is approved in Devum, an integration API sends those details directly to the attendance platform. This ensures the system marks those days as on leave instead of absent, preventing any incorrect deductions or penalties. So, through these APIs, Devum stays perfectly aligned with the broader ecosystem of tools your business relies on. Scheduled business logic. Scheduled business logic allows Devum to automate tasks so they run exactly when they're needed, without anyone having to trigger them manually. Think of it like setting up smart reminders for your system. These scheduled jobs can generate daily sales reports, sync data with external systems every night, or even send out weekly email newsletters, all handled automatically in the background. A practical example is leave management. Devum can run a daily scheduled job that checks if an employee's approved leave date is today. If it matches, the system automatically updates the status to taken. No manual updates, no delays, just clean, accurate records maintained every day. This automation keeps operations smooth, timely, and error-free. Entity pre-post. Entity pre-post services let Devum run logic automatically before or after any database write operation. This is extremely powerful because it allows the system to validate, enrich, or react to data changes in real time without any manual steps. Before a record is saved, pre-entity logic can validate information or even compute new values. And after the record is saved, post-entity logic can trigger follow-up actions like workflows, logs, or notifications. For example, when an employee applies for leave, the pre-insert logic automatically calculates the number of leave days based on the selected dates, ensuring accuracy before the data is stored. And once the leave request is created, post-insert logic sends an email notification to the reporting head, keeping everyone instantly informed. So pre-post services quietly power a lot of real-time business logic and automation behind the scenes. Real-time data processing functions. Real-time data processing functions allow Devum to react to events the moment they happen. Instead of waiting for scheduled jobs or manual triggers, these functions continuously listen to event sources like Kafka, MQTT brokers, or IoT device streams. As soon as new data arrives, the system processes it instantly, whether that means updating the database, triggering alerts, making decisions, or pushing information to dashboards. A great example is real-time tracking. When an asset or employee sends updated location data through MQTT, the function immediately processes the coordinates, updates the system, and the dashboard reflects the new position within seconds. This enables truly live monitoring and instant decision-making across applications that rely on continuous data flow. Form field. Form field domain services handle everything that happens inside a form before the data is ever submitted. They manage autofilling, dynamic validations, conditional visibility, and real-time calculations, making forms smarter and more intuitive for users. For example, When an employee selects their employee ID in a leave application form, the service instantly auto-fills their name, department, reporting manager, and location. It also fetches and displays their leave balance for each leave type, so they always know what's available before applying. These services also power scenarios like dynamic password validation, checking password strength in real time, and ensuring the confirmation field matches before submission. By managing all this logic at the form level, Devum ensures cleaner data entry, fewer errors, and a far smoother user experience. User Action Process. The user action process is a domain service that activates the moment a user interacts with the application, whether they're submitting a form, clicking a button, or requesting a custom action. It handles everything from form processing and workflow initiation to generating on-demand PDFs or executing business-specific operations. For example, when an employee submits a leave request in the HR system, a user action process is instantly triggered. It routes the request to the reporting manager, updates the workflow, and carries out all necessary logic behind the scenes. It also sends real-time notifications, alerting the manager that a new request needs approval and confirming to the employee that their submission was successful. By capturing and processing user actions instantly, this service ensures smooth, responsive, and automated business flows. Coming to Fluent Service Task. Fluent Service Tasks are small, single-purpose, reusable building blocks that form the foundation of larger workflows in Devum. Each task performs one atomic action, like sending an email, updating a record, or generating a document. And these tasks can be chained together to create powerful end-to-end processes. For example, in a leave approval workflow, once the reporting manager approves or rejects the request, a Fluent Service task is triggered to send the appropriate email to the employee. Whether it's an approval notice or a rejection message, this task handles communication reliably and consistently every time. By breaking complex operations into these modular steps, Devum allows you to build sophisticated workflows with incredible flexibility, without sacrificing the speed and simplicity of a low-code platform. Now, let's take a look at where domain services are located within the Devum platform. Inside the Dev Space menu on the left panel, you'll find the Domain Services section highlighted here. This is the central place where you can create, manage, and organize all your domain services. When you click Add New, Devum presents all the available service types, APIs, business logic, scheduled jobs, real-time processing, and more, making it easy to choose exactly what you need for your application. Stay tuned. Our full domain service walkthrough in Devum is coming up next. Thanks for joining us.